Hey YouTube, Mark here. Yes, it's another motorcycle video. It's just one of those things, I haven't really done a whole lot of maintenance on my bike, and I've really had no issues, so I haven't been doing anything, and now it's kind of hitting me and I'm realizing that, I gotta get this stuff done, I gotta take care of it, and today what I'm going to do is brake pads. Again, I've had this bike for, well, it's an '07, bought it brand new, and I haven't done anything to it really. My previous videos though, you've seen me change the brake fluid. I had a little maintenance job where I got new clutch fluid. I've done oil changes. I've done other little things. I flushed the radiator a few months back. But yeah, again, I've never changed my brake pads on my bike, and I got to get it done. I am hearing some squeaking noises just every once in a while, not all the time. But I don't think they were meant to go over 60,000 miles, so time to change my brake pads. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, I need to take off my, my side saddlebag here to get to the brake caliper. I've already gone around and nipped off all the little zip ties that I got holding it on. And then I just need to unzip that. Alright, now that I got my saddlebag off, of course you might not have a saddlebag, or yours might disconnect differently. Those things are endless possibilities on how saddlebags are attached, or even if you have them. But now I need to take the caliper off. This is your caliper right here. So this is your caliper right here. There's only 2 bolts holding it on. 1, 2. These are 8mm Allen wrench sockets. Okay, those bolts are not going to come off easily, okay? Get yourself a breaker bar. You'll need a small extension. At least I do, because I have my luggage rack support in the way here. So you need to get your Allen wrench. If you've got an Allen key set that looks like this, that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to torque down on this hard enough to get those to break loose. I can almost guarantee it. You need to get some good leverage, okay? So let's break these bolts off. That one's broken loose. There we go. Alright, now that they're broken loose, I can just take and unscrew those bolts. There's one. That's 2. Now when you take them out, the caliper could fall on you, so I put my hand back here just to catch it, just in case. But it looked like it was going to stay after I got that bolt out. Alright, now we just got to wiggle the caliper off. Takes a little time, a little persuasion. If you need to, you can also get a screwdriver, get it under there and really pry up on it if you need to. But mine came off pretty easily. Alright, let me show you how these things are set up. Okay, here's a fairly close-up look of your caliper. This is your mounting bracket here. That's where the bolts came out of. You got your pads. You got one pad here, one pad down here. And then of course that's the front of it. That's where the pistons are that push the pads into your rotor. Okay, the next thing that we have to do, this little pin goes through the mounting area for the new pads and goes down here. So we need to pull this pin out. Before I pull this pin out, there is a little cotter pin right here that has to come out. Let's see if I can get that thing. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but yeah, there's a little tiny pin in there, and we need to pull that pin out. Okay, so we'll just set a needle nose pliers. I'm going to reach in there, grab a hold of that pin, and pull. That's what you got to pull out right there, that little pin. And now this should just slide right out. There we go. There's the mounting pin. Okay, so with those pads out of there, I now need to get these caliper pistons pushed back down in. Now there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can try using a wrench and try to squeeze them down in there. I'm actually going to just take my torque bar, place it inside that piston, and just push it down. It does take a bit of force, but they do go down. Whew. It's not the easiest thing to do. You know, there's a good amount of pressure built up in there, but I think I got them down far enough. All right, time to put the new pads on. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed or not, but the two pads are a little bit different from each other. Okay, the first one would be the one that's actually towards the on the tire side of the caliper. Was like this. It had two rings on it, two support rings, and then the one on the outside of the caliper had only one ring on it. I'll show you how those slide in. It's pretty simple actually. So when you go ahead and put them in, the first one you're going to put in is the one that falls down on top of the those caliper pistons. There's little notches here that just kind of line up and fit into everything. I'm hoping you can see this. And then it just kind of nestles down in there. And then the second one, you gotta remember now the pads for this one has to face downwards. You just slide it onto here and pivot it around. And then you take your pin, you take that pin and put it down through here. It's got to go through both of those little holes. Come on. There it goes. Just like that. Now we got to take that little cotter pin and put it into there and lock it all in. You may have to turn this in order to find that hole. Okay, there it is. It's kind of hidden up there. So you just put the pin in. You know what? Those needle nose might work out a little bit better than my big fat fingers. Okay. Got the cotter pin back in. So far I think that cotter pin's been the hardest part of the entire job. Alright, so now basically I had that just on my pipe just to protect it from getting scratched up. You can go ahead and you can lube up your posts here if you want to, but I usually don't. Separate the caliper, and you separate the pads to get them to fit, the rotor in between them, and then they just slide right back on. Now you can take your mounting bolts, and we'll just screw those back in. I don't know, I don't have a torque wrench, and I don't know what the specs are and what they're supposed to be. I go until I can't twist these fuckers anymore, then I stop. Okay, that's it. I'm done. One of the things to remember too, don't change your brakes and just jump on and go for a ride. Because you're going to find out by the time you get to the end of the driveway, you got to pump your brakes a little bit and get those calipers to readjust and get onto your brakes. Because otherwise, the first few times you hit your brakes, you're not going to have anything there. All right, let's go up to the front and start working on those. Okay. The procedure is basically the same thing for the front as it was for the back. However, the two mounting bolts, they're not Allen key bolts, okay? These are standard regular bolts. Look like a size 12 millimeter. Look at that, it's 12 millimeter. Again, these things are going to be on hard, so yeah, get up and get some leverage on them. There's one. There's two. Yeah. Well, once they're loose, but it's breaking them off. That's the hard part. All right, there's one. No washers or anything on these. Now, when this one comes off, the caliper will swing down, so I got my hand down here to catch it. And there's the second one. All right, in order for me to get this to where I can work on it, I need to take the brake line out from this little spot, which isn't hard. You just got to kind of turn this little rubber piece a little bit. All right, take the rubber off. Okay, that's better than just turning it. It comes around that little ring. Hopefully I can get it. No. Oh, there we go. No major damage done to the fender. Maybe if you take the fender off, it'll give you a little more play. But I got it off, and looks like the same setup. I got my cotter pin here I got to pull out. Then I pull out that mounting pin. Then I'll have to push the caliper pistons back in, mount the whole thing back up. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so gotta remove my cotter pin. Come on, you little bugger. All right, so there's my cotter pin. Make sure you're putting these things in a place so you won't lose them. All right, I'm just gonna grab that little pin there and pull it out. This one here just loops up and over, slides right off the pin up here. This one just lifts right out. And again, you know what? Those pads don't look too bad. But I'm just going to feel better knowing that they're replaced and brand new. All right, so now we got to push those cylinders back in. That's it, they're back in. Okay, first piece in is the one with the single loop. And that single loop actually gets held in place by this pin that we removed. So right now you just need to place it in here. line up all the little spots. Just like that, fits right in there. And where'd the second pad go? Oh, there it is. Push everything through. Trying to find my hole. There's my hole. Grab my cotter pin. Oops. And boom, just like that, it's in. All right, the separated the pads, got the rotor in between them. Mounting bolt. Second mounting bolt. All right, that's 2 of the 3 done. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that my bike, the 1600 Classic, it actually uses 2 different types of brake pads. There's the back and the front right, both use the same brake pad, but the front left on the other side uses a different brake pad. So yeah, it's basically the same thing, it's just that they're kind of reversed. That's the only issue. All right, let's get on the other side and do those. Okay, I just wanted to give you a closer view on this this little ring. It's that rubber that goes around your brake line here, and it just kind of holds it in. And all you gotta do is just kind of push it out, turn it around a little bit, and it comes right back out. And yes, I did put the other one back on. All right, let's get these bolts off, and it's the same principle. Like I said, the pads are just going to be a little bit different because they're going to be flipped around. No biggie. Wow, that one wasn't too tight. First bolt out. Second bolt out. Move the hose line. There we go, just a little coercion and it comes right back out. Again, pads don't look too bad on this one. All right, reach over here and grab my needle nose, pull out the pin. No biggie, easy to do. Take the same needle nose and pull out the mounting pin. So this one here, the one that it's up against the caliper, it just comes right out. And this other one pivots up and around and off. Alright, let's get these pistons pushed in. There, just like that. Okay, let's get the new pads out. The first one, just line up the little notches. I got notch here and a notch down here. They just push in, that's all it does. And then this one here goes over the mounting bolt. Just slides right in. Take our removable pin, put that in. Alright, there it is. And there's our pin. Alright, so we'll just open up the pads a little bit. Alright. Separate the pads. Fiddle faddle with it a little bit. There we go. Mounting bolt. There it is. Had a hard time finding the hole on the other side. Second one. Tighten the bolts. There we go. Put the hose back in like so. Take our little rubbery grommet thing. And you just work it around. Alright, come on. There we go. Alright. So you see what happens is that you want the opening of that rubber grommet down here, not up here by the open hook, because that's kind of what locks it into place. You can't pull it out now. Okay, that's it. That was all 3 brake pads. Now, some people are saying, oh, you should have lubed up those posts. You didn't put any anti-seize on the brake pads or anything like that. I never do. A lot of people say, well, you do that to prevent any squeaking noises. I never hear anything. I don't hear squeaking noises. I never have. I've done brake jobs on all my vehicles. I've done brake jobs on this now, and I've never once put any grease or anti-seize. I've never put thread lock on the bolts. I've never had to. I've never needed or had a reason to where I need to do something like that. I can get those bolts tight enough. You know, when I can't move it anymore, I'm a big guy. When I can't get those bolts to move anymore, that's it. They are in. So anyway, that's the end of my process. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope now you can change your own brake pads. This is Mark saying thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the road, even if it's stopped at a stop sign.